Hello everybody and welcome back to this week's new reading vlog. Today I am going to be doing sort of a continuation. A couple weeks ago I posted a video talking about like 15 books that I thought could be 5-star predictions for myself since I've had so little this year. I wanted to do a vlog reading some of the books and hopefully maybe all of them this year to see how well do I know myself and really can I get another 5-star read? So I'll be reading 4 books in this vlog. The first one was When I Kill You by B.A. Paris, a thriller, and my first B.A. Paris. The second book that I read was an ebook of And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. This is the second book in the Heartstrings so far trilogy, but hopefully series. I really loved the first book, so I hoped that I could maybe get a 5-star read out of the second book. I also read a literary debut, Harmless by Miranda Shulman, which Dutton kindly sent to me, thank you. And it came with this really cool custom bookmark. And lastly, a very hyped book. I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I purchased this when I went to a bookstore with my friend. I originally started it sort of as a competition against her boyfriend to see if I can finish it first. He had already finished it by the time that I started it, but I did still finish it faster than him because men read so slow. It felt kind of perfect to buy this because A, the holds list at the library was so long, but B, it's been on my TBR for so long. Because of that, I'm going to go see the movie as well. I will be reading those 4 books and we can get into the vlog portion to see how well do I actually know myself and will I get a 5-star read. Enjoy! I've not been reading as much of When I Kill You as I would like to, which sucks because it's not even 300 pages. I want to like really immerse myself into it because of how unsettling it is. So in this book, we're following Nell, who has a past of stalking. She witnessed someone getting into a car and later found out that this woman has turned up dead, murdered. She convinces herself that she knows who it is, but nobody believes her, and she takes it upon herself to prove everybody wrong. Very dangerous, very persistent, annoying. I think she's like pretty young at the time, and now I think it's like 14 years later she has now changed her name, running from her past, keeping secrets. She has a new boyfriend, not a lot of close people in her life, but she feels like someone is watching her and constantly following her, and it's really putting her on edge. And we're getting excerpts from the actual stalker, so we know that it's not just in her head, but getting the chapters from the past when she is Elle, like her real identity, is so frustrating because she truly believes that she's right. She like found the suspect and is trying to piece together the puzzle from that instead of like vice versa, which is what actual police work is. She's not like a police officer at all, so the detective on the case is getting really frustrated with her. The guy who's being stalked really wants to press charges of harassment against her because she's like following him every day. It's really concerning. There's a lot of like her new identity that she's like keeping to herself. She's holding her cards very close to her chest. I'm about to start a chapter from Elle in the past where she's following this guy. I really am starting to like not believe her that she saw this guy and that she's really convincing herself that someone who looked like the guy that she thinks she saw who took the woman in the car. That all sounds really confusing. I'm getting really annoyed with her, but it's doing like its job. That's what I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to believe her, and I feel like in the end maybe she was right all along. It's such a gloomy day, and I fucking washed my hair today and I have to go out. I'm having dinner with my friends. We're gonna be gabbing and drinking a lot. But last night I finished When I Kill You by B.A. Paris. 4 stars. It was really getting me, and it really gets you in the head because our main character, Nell, Elle, makes herself out to be so unreliable and a little cuckoo de lulu that you really start to like gaslight her. Can you hear that? That's the rain on the AC. I just like really felt unsettled a lot from the excerpts, but the excerpts from the killer's POV was starting to get a little bit funny, which you don't want in like a thriller because everything is ending, I don't know if I said this already, as like blah 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 won't matter when I kill you. Like, girl, come on now. Shut up. We'll hardly be discussing our favorite pastries when I kill you. It's not getting scary anymore. Just reading it every time like that they're finishing their own journal entries like that is giving poetry, elementary poetry, and just like wasn't really giving the scary aspect, appeal, whatever that it probably was going for. 4 stars. I was audibly gasping at some of the reveals at the end. I don't want to say too much, but like, okay girl, you know what, okay. My video is exporting and I want to get ready for bed, but I do want to finish And Now Back to You, which is what I'm reading right now. I didn't read it all today and I only had like 4 hours of sleep, so we'll see how much I can actually stay awake for. But this book is really cute so far. Jackson is all types of awkward and weird, and Delilah is absolutely like sunshine. Everyone is so drawn to her. She's so kind and she's smart. There's just something about her that really bothers Jackson, but their dynamic is so interesting. He's just always like this weird guy who's leaving notes on her car for her terrible parking jobs. They always have like run-ins, like literally. They both are weather announcers, meteorologists. I don't know about their qualifications. Now they are working together to report on this huge historic winter storm. They kind of have to put aside their differences to work together. There's something about her though that really calms Jackson. He's not really someone who is able to talk very well, even though he reports on the radio. He can get very weird without a script, and so working together they balance each other out really well. Right now they are really making out and talking about their feelings. I am pretty a decent way through this book. Okay, I'm like halfway through actually, and it's like, wow. I am liking it though. I think it's really sweet. The winter vibes are kind of throwing me off because I'm really hoping for spring right now and warmer weather, but otherwise their dynamic's working. Hello? There was a scene where they like having to stay in close proximity. Very good. Very good. Editing me realizing I never actually filmed a clip. Why is this so crooked? I never actually finished talking about my final thoughts on And Now Back to You, because I did enjoy it, but unfortunately I enjoyed the first book more. My final rating for this one is going to be 4 stars. I did really like Jackson and Delilah. Of course they balance each other out very, very well. And you could already tell by the way that Jackson, who is raising his younger twin sisters, the way that he treats them just shows me how well he will be treating any woman in his life. And he's so awkward and weird, but it matches up really well with how eccentric Delilah can be. I just found the way that he would call her baby to be really cringe because it all came on really fast. Really cute story, and I'm glad that there's going to be a 3rd book in the series for Maggie. I do need to leave for work. I look like such an egg, but I swear there's a braid. But I've been reading Harmless. I'm about halfway through and I really wanted to finish it yesterday, but maybe it's better that I didn't because I actually haven't talked about it at all. It's taking like a kind of a sad tone. So this book we're following Bee, Layla, and Tatum. Bee's twin sister Audrey has died. They had a delayed funeral because she died during COVID, and she's kind of reconnected with Layla and Tatum, her childhood best friends, at the wake, and wants to have more purpose in her life and create a dog kennel, which was always Audrey's dream, and wants to recruit Layla and Tatum's help. But Bee is like really still going through her grief, and I don't think she like realizes it, as that Layla and Tatum seem to have been closer with Audrey, and so they are finding Bee to be very weird. They were estranged for a really long time, so they don't really know each other as adults either. Bee is really weird. Audrey was always the bubbly, outgoing golden child. Bee would like follow her from a distance, kind of like low-key spying on her stalker style, and Tatum always found that to be really weird. Tatum at least is really in a dead-end relationship and is kind of just with him because it's easy for convenience, and her boyfriend is so weird. He's not like a bad person, but clearly she's like not interested in him anymore, and they've been together since college, and it's kind of because they're in their late 20s, it feels like she sort of just needs to stay with him because that's the course of the life that everyone has. In wanting to open the kennel, Tatum really wants to get close to Layla, who is like an heiress, super rich, and will be funding the whole project, and wants to get close to her again, but also just like find this new purpose in her life because she's not really enjoying her like relationship or her job. It's a very weird like sad tone, and I'm not really liking any of the characters because I don't know, they're all so different, and I'm already halfway through the book. Nothing has really happened. I don't have a lot of time before I need to leave for work. My bangs are kind of crunchy. I finished wow, that does not look good. Help. I finished Harmless yesterday. Sorry, my lip product. I'm giving it 2.5 stars. I feel like I wanted Blue Sisters, and I wasn't really getting a lot of that because I didn't really like any of the characters. I also was getting a little bit of like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants because the 3 girls, or the 4 girls, the 3 moms are friends, or they used to be, and something happened and they're not really anymore, which was like kind of unclear of like what happened regarding that. I feel like money was a really big issue because one was so ultra rich and the other 2 moms weren't, and just like class differences, because I know that the other 2 moms are still friends. I liked like the Brooklyn vibe of it because I could get all the references, because like my family was a member of the Park Slope Food Co-op, and my mom's and her friends would like go and trade shifts. They would carpool, my dad would pick them up, and little things like that. But I just found B to be so off-putting and creepy, and I could tell that she was trying to really save Rosalie, her roommate, in the same way that she couldn't with Audrey, because that's the thing that was really healing her in life. But she was like really trying to numb herself. She's so weird. I was surprised that she even wanted to reach out to these people, Layla and Tatum, in the first place. Layla's like kind of a bitch, this rich bitch who is so not connected to the world anymore. The way that she was trying to blame Tatum and B first when her mom's business manager person, hello? What is it? The person who manages her trust, her fucking trust fund manager, like wouldn't give her any money for this project in the first place. Like she couldn't have done it, and she was just trying to do too much. Like at first I really appreciated her trying to really spearhead something, but I don't think she really had any clue of how to work things. And Tatum's desperation was just so sad because she wanted Layla to like her so much and was having all of these like sexual fantasies about her, and she was only going to jump into this project without actually liking dogs or having pet a dog before, and yet she had this huge bond to Willow, this foster dog. Although I thought it was interesting that that's the dog that could have been Audrey's. And the ending just left me really confused, and I feel like really frustrated. So 2.5 stars. The next book I'm going to be starting, I really debated. I think it's going to be Project Hail Mary. I'm not sure if I'm going to watch the movie right away, although my sister and my friend actually are watching it twice. I just purchased this book on my little day date that I had with Gina, my friend who's going to go see it twice. I originally was going to challenge myself to finish this really fast before her boyfriend, who's been reading it for like over a month, but he did actually finish the book already. But I don't know, it feels recent enough to like read it, and the other book on my shelf that I wanted to read, it was this or The Push. I can always just read for a next vlog, because I think I might want to do a part 2 of this if I'm unable to find a 5-star, but I'm really kind of banking on this one to be really good, because where's the 5-star? Hello, I started Project Hail Mary yesterday, and I read about 100 pages of this, and so far pretty good. It's kind of comical and entertaining in the way that Andy Weir writes, although I haven't read The Martian in a long time, and that is the only book that I've read by him. So far I feel like it's still a little bit confusing with the science jargon, but still relatively understandable because he teaches middle school science, so I feel like he is able to break things down in a way that can be understood by the layman. In Project Hail Mary, if you don't know what it's about, you've been living under a rock. Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on this last chance mission that if he fails, the humanity of the world, the earth, depends on him. Except that when he wakes up from a coma, he actually doesn't remember anything. He could barely remember his name. His memories are coming back to him in pieces. Some of his knowledge is still there, though he doesn't really understand why. 2 of his crewmates that he came on this mission with are dead. While his memories are really fuzzy and the clock is ticking down, he has to do everything alone. So similar to The Martian of how he's like all by himself. The memories are cool. I've heard that the movie flashes really back into the memories as well. I saw a review that said that they couldn't really imagine Ryan Gosling as this character, but knowing that like he does play the character, I guess I'm like sort of seeing it, not super well, but so far Ryland is a funny character. It sort of helps that he's kind of rediscovering himself with us. He's getting his flashbacks at really random times when he's thinking of something, so sometimes he doesn't really know why they're coming at that time. Though he teaches middle school science, he is a microbiologist. Someone who is at the head of this Project Hail Mary comes to him because of this paper he wrote saying that life doesn't need water to survive, which ended up being one of the reasons why he was chosen for this mission. There's this alien life force, like these little pieces that have been split up across the world for different scientists across the world to figure out how it works. They're all on a time crunch because they're realizing that the sun is slowly not starting to shine brighter than it should be. I don't know how he got up there. I don't know why, how far away he is, where he is, how the other people died, but we just know that Ryland Grace is awake from his coma and he is starting to fit the pieces of the puzzle. The chapter I'm on, I just started chapter 6 before I started to get sleepy and go to bed, but it says, okay, if I'm going to die, it's going to have meaning. I'm going to figure out what can be done to stop astrophage, which is the name he gave the little alien force that is bacteria essentially growing on the sun, blocking all of the light. But he has to figure a way to send off the message of what he's discovering off to Earth, and then I think this is supposed to be low-key like a suicide mission. Well, let's go to the gym and hopefully I can read on the treadmill. Can you believe I'm still reading this book? How embarrassing. I am not enjoying it. That's the thing, which really sucks because I do really want to read it. I just don't really have the time to do so. I fell asleep on the train yesterday on my way to my friend's birthday party, couldn't finish it, and I have a little less than 70 pages left of this, so I definitely do want to finish this today. I also haven't really been talking about this, but I am really liking it. Rocky is such a fun addition to this. I don't want to say too much about it, but I really like the friendship between Ryland or Dr. Grace and Rocky. Rocky's so intelligent, and I think a necessary fun character makes it different from The Martian. My friend did tell me something about the author that I hope is not true, but I would like to go see this movie. I've kind of been itching to go see a movie alone, and I ended up going to see Devil Wears Prada with my sister, which was fun, but I think this would be the perfect one to go see because Coda's not really interested in space movies. I'm having a really good time, a really emotional sort of time with it, but mostly because of Rocky. I'm still not really sure how I'm going to rate this, but so far I will say it's a 4.25. Having the took a melatonin, so I'm already kind of tired, but having the flashback scenes are really nice because it helps to break up the super sciencey bits that low-key go over my head sometimes in this one. I feel like I'm noticing it more for Project Hail Mary as opposed to The Martian, and maybe it's also been many years since I've read that book. It's also just nice having Rocky to also sort of break that up. Rocky's very intelligent also, but because of the language barrier, it's been cool to kind of see that relationship or the friendship blossom more as opposed to it just being only the science stuff. He's so cute. I was very sleepy yesterday, but I did finish this and went to sleep right away. I read the last 43 pages of this finally. I went to bed not really knowing what my rating was going to be, but I woke up and thought it wasn't an immediate 5-star, so I'm gonna give it 4.5. In my head, I think I could convince myself to give it 4.75 because of how much I enjoyed Rocky, but for now it is 4.5 on Goodreads and Storygraph. I think it was a really good time. So much of the scientific back and forth equations and numbers were kind of just in one ear and out the other. I think that's still understandable because it's a sci-fi book, but I can't really fault it for that. I just don't know how I feel about the ending. I think to me, because of the state of the world that he was leaving, I would have wanted it to wrap up in a way that I could envision that there's kind of hope for us. I don't want to say too much, but I think in a way that you could definitely see it that way, but for me, I would have wanted to visualize it a little bit better, if that makes sense to people who've read this book. But I did enjoy this, and I think this is going to be the last book that I'm gonna read. I am filming a lifestyle vlog, so I did want to include the movie for this vlog, but I think I'll include it for that one, so you'll have to see my thoughts of that. But I'm really glad that I was able to pick this up and purchase my own copy. I actually don't think that I canceled my hold on Libby for this one. I'm number 98. Okay, last week I was number 115, so it is moving, but I can go ahead and cancel that out of their 98 copies owned in the Brooklyn Library to give that to somebody else. Let me know what your thoughts are on Project Hail Mary, especially the movie, because I've only been seeing really good things about it, so I don't necessarily have high hopes because I don't watch a lot of space movies. But what do we think about aliens? Do we believe in them? So I'm now editing and I haven't found a 5-star yet in this vlog, at least. I'm randomly working on a different vlog and I found a 5-star, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But I do want to do a part 2 for this to see if I can actually like get a 5-star out of the ones that I predicted for myself, and maybe out of some of the new releases, especially ones that have been sitting on my shelf for a long time. You know, maybe they've just been sitting there silently dormant, waiting for me. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know about your recent 5-star read, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.